Welcome to my channel. My name is Alexa and I like to make content related to finances, productivity, and some sprinkle in health and wellness. And I want to do a January review and a February reset. It is February 6th. I was on vacation this week and so I really didn't go through this process, but I'm trying to make it more of a point to sit down at the end of the month and really review. I do review weekly and kind of just in my own budgeting app, but I feel like when it comes to my life goals, I don't really check in on those. So we'll do a little bit of both. We'll look at my finances for the month. We'll look at some goals that I had for the quarter. I'll go into my quarterly reviews and then kind of what I've been trying to implement weekly and seeing and updating you guys on how that went. And then if anyone's interested on how I picked my goals, how I got them from annual to quarterly to weekly, daily, let me know and I can make a video about that. But let's get into it. In my last video, I talked about how I set up my budget, and if you're interested in that, I'll leave that in the description box. Usually before I purchase something, I look in right before I'm about to make the purchase, which is why I switched from a budget sheet to an app because it's doing it automatically. I did use a physical budget, well, a digital budget sheet that I made. Halfway through 2024, I realized I was just going over budget, and it's because I would retroactively input the transactions, which makes you be more intentional the next month, but it doesn't really stop you in the moment. Using the app has helped me a lot. Like, okay, how much do I actually have left in my budget right now? Do I need to make this purchase or not? I do think that if you don't want to spend $100 on this app, which is what I had to spend on this, then you should probably do a manual budget, and that's better than nothing. My paychecks coming from my full-time job, I did make a little bit more than I expected to. I think the taxes changed from 2024 to 2025, and I just got a little bit more money out of each paycheck. By interest, I made $76. I just put 60 just in case I take money out, and I don't really want to change that. So if it becomes more, great. It should become higher every month, but I'm not necessarily changing it on my budget. And then other income, I only worked my part-time job once, and then I went to the zoo, but I paid in cash for me and my friend, and then she Zelled me. For my investments, I put in $600. For gifts and donations, I only donated $50 this month. I spent $74 on a gift for my boyfriend. This was supposed to be accounted for in December, but things just kept getting pushed and we didn't have the time to go. We went to a painting class. Gas, I spent about $25 less than I intended to. For parking and tolls, I only had to pay for parking once. I didn't take an Uber at all. I did get a car wash, so that was $13. So overall in this category, I saved $35. And for housing, this change in money usually comes from my utilities, and it's usually water and sewers. I think they were negotiating getting lower water prices recently, and so that has been implemented, and so I saved $30. And for my bills, I paid what I expected to for my Wi-Fi and my subscriptions. That's really not changing. And then my gas and electric, it's a little bit colder in Kansas City, and so I normally keep my AC at 65 and I just layer up. And in the winter, I save quite a bit of money because in the summer, even when I'm being frugal, I can spend close to $100. And then groceries, I did go over $13, and I knew that I was going over $13. But I decided to do it anyways because I knew that I was saving on restaurants and bars. So I only saved $6 overall, but I still went over my groceries. I knew I wasn't gonna eat out again, and so I was like, okay, sure, I'll spend $15 extra on groceries. And I had some friends over and I made them lunch, and so that's why I spent a little bit extra. I was getting extra food for people. I spent my full $30 at the coffee shop. I typically do. I actually got Starbucks this morning, so that's already $7 out of 30, and it's February 6th. And then tomorrow, I'm meeting up with this girl that I met out at a bar one night. She was really nice and asked for my phone number, so we're gonna get coffee, and I'll spend money at the coffee shop there. So that'll be half of my budget gone in the first week of February. That's kind of what happened in January. Travel and lifestyle, I did save $23. I gave myself $200 to buy new clothes for this vacation that I just went on in Mexico, and I actually spent most of it, which I'm not mad about. That's what I pulled it out for, but I saved $23. Entertainment and recreation, I didn't do anything really. I did go out a lot to eat and stuff when my friend came into town, and I think because of that I was just wanting to save money, so I didn't really do anything crazy. For pets, I didn't have to buy any treats or, wait, yes, I did. I did buy treats. I think that was miscategorized. And my groceries here, Trader Joe's, yeah, this $16 was on treats, pretty much. I bought a banana and 2 granola bars. What is that, like 23 cents? And then maybe $6, so I would say $7. We'll call this $6, so. Okay, so you can go in here and split the transaction if you want to. And then we'll do $10. This will be pet. You can also change the date. My card was charged on the 2nd, but I was already in Mexico, so this was really on January 31st. So now for pets, we've spent $10. So overall in this category, I saved $88. Miscellaneous. Personal, I did have to buy a lot of things. So like I went to Ulta, I needed more makeup and stuff. And then at Costco, I needed some supplements. Household products, I did have to go to Walgreens for batteries, and I went to Costco for some cleaning things, I believe. Or maybe it was paper towels, I can't remember. I saved $33 in this category. Education, I paid what I was supposed to. For medical, I had to buy Tums. Insurance, I saved $2, and I actually did call this month and I asked them to lower my bill because it has gone up by a crazy amount, and so they did agree to do that, which is great. For my goals, I contributed $600. I put $470 into my vacation, $130 into gifts, and then the $200 and the $25 is really just if I can. I will send some money over. I'm not sure what happened between December and the end of January, but I guess I didn't spend as much as I thought I was going to traveling and gifts, and so I had quite a bit of money left over in my accounts. Like I have a baseline that I want in my accounts to cover all my bills and to cover my budgeted expenses based on this budget sheet. And so I had $1,000 more than I was supposed to have, and so I threw that into my savings because I am trying to beef that up right now instead of investing, because I invested the minimum, but right now I have some bigger savings goals, some bigger travel goals, and so a lot of my extra money is going there, not necessarily into the stock market. But that won't be the case every single month, but I just decided to do that with this month. So I just went ahead and like threw $250 into everything, but it went onto my February page because I was doing this on February 1st, but this is kind of January. I might have to redo my numbers because I'll see what happens at the end of this month, because everything should be baseline, and then we'll see. I might have to move the numbers around because $1,000 just that I didn't realize that I had unaccounted for seems a little wild to me. So I'm glad that I had $1,000 extra lying around, but I put them towards my savings. So I'm still going to contribute my $600 minimum that I'm wanting to do in my savings account. So this, like at least for February, it'll show that I put at least $1,600, and I might put more. We'll see what happens. My goal is to save $200 extra just throughout my budget coming from 2024 to 2025. So I should be able to save some money, but we'll see. Hopefully at the end of the month, we'll say $1,800 saved. That's the goal, which I do have to make myself uncomfortable to reach because I have to stop myself from doing certain things and not giving into my impulses and things like that. So that's my budget for January. And then going into February, I do expect my other income to be $200. I have 2 classes for my part-time job scheduled, and so I should be getting money for that. See, sometimes this happens. It'll mark this as income, and it's not. It was a transfer between my accounts. Yeah, I was like, I have not made $3,500 this month off one paycheck. And then I will be putting $600 into my Roth. I have my sister's birthday and one of my best friend's birthdays, so I'm going to spend close to $200 on both of them, I think. And there's Valentine's Day. Yeah, gifts are gonna be a little bit expensive this month, but I saved for that, and I've already saved $250 from January into my gift fund, so it should work out in the end. Okay, so auto maintenance, this is gonna be $100. I'm gonna put $120. I am probably going to have to get a oil change this month, and I also have money saved in my savings account for auto maintenance, so that money will come from there. Usually what I do is I pull from my savings, I send it to my checking, I count it as income, and then I use that to pay for things because I have already saved for it, and I don't necessarily want it to come out of my budget this month, which will be the same for gifts actually. So I might be taking money out of my savings and I'm still putting money into my savings, but just so it all flows correctly, I probably will I'll jump through all the hoops just so that it makes sense, but I'll explain at the end of February how that works. But usually if I have a bigger unexpected expense, like a gift, like a birthday or like the car maintenance, I already have savings for that I can use on those items instead of using my money that I'm getting this month to pay for it. So my rent includes my Wi-Fi. So usually I have to go in here and I have to split the transaction, and I would make it automatically split, but it's not the same every time. Like I said, my utilities are included and those are changing, so I can't set a rule for it to be the exact same every time. I saved $31, which is close to what it was last month. This number, this $15.40, might go down over time. I'll probably give it another month or two and see what the trend is, and if I'm saving $30 every month, I'll just go ahead and change that to probably $15.12 or $15.15. Gas and electric, I always just put $100. I explained that kind of in my overall budget video. I just budget for the most expensive month of the year every single month, and if I save money, great, and if I don't, fine. And then my internet and cable is the same every single month. My online subscriptions do not change. For my phone, I spent $13 over the trip because I wanted to make sure that I was able to contact the man that was driving the boat that we rented. I just spent $10 on a 3-day pass, and then with taxes, it was $13. And then for groceries, this should be a reasonable amount. Restaurants and bars, coffee shops, also reasonable amounts for this month. I can definitely stay under that. Entertainment and recreation and pets, these categories are also fine. I really don't change these very much. Miscellaneous, this should also stay the same. I can't think of anything huge that I need to purchase this month. Student loans, health and wellness, financial, these are all pretty much set the same, except for insurance. Like I was saying earlier, I set this to $160 because I negotiated my bill to be a little bit lower. My savings goals are all the same. This $1,000 is from January, so my goal in February is still to save another $600. So going out of my finances review, I feel like I don't look over my personal goals as much, and I want to look into getting like a Notion planner and figuring that out. And then sometimes it's hard to recognize the progress that you've made when you're not giving yourself any credit ever. Going into Q1, I was listening to Ali Abdaal. I love his book. I've been listening to his audiobook, and then I've always loved his YouTube channel. But one of the things that he talks about are quarterly quests and how you should set quarterly goals because it's a lot easier to think of them in 90-day chunks instead of like one whole year at a time. 4 of my focuses in Q1, which is January to the end of March, were to increase my whole foods intake, lock down my nighttime routine, do 1 VO2 max workout a week, and post 1 YouTube video a week. Eating more whole foods. I sit down every week for 5 to 30 minutes. It just depends on how inspired I am with cooking and how much time I have to spend on thinking about my food. But I'll sit down, look at what I have in my pantry and my freezer, look at what I've been thinking sounds really yummy lately, and then I'll make a list of foods that I need. I already do that. I've been doing that for over a year. And so whenever it comes to incorporating whole foods, well, I mostly eat at home. Unless I'm with someone that wants to go out really bad, I usually don't eat out. If I'm buying processed foods, the only person at fault for me eating processed foods is me. In my planning, I'm trying to increase the amount of whole foods that I'm eating. So I always look for a protein, a carb source. I'm trying to limit my carb sources away from like pasta and bread and more towards potatoes and rice noodles, or a lot more veggies. And so this week I'm making like sushi wraps with my trout that I have and rice noodles. And then usually I do shredded carrots, but I'm gonna eat carrots as a snack, and so I don't have shredded carrots in there. But I will be eating cucumbers, so that's more of a fruit, but it's still like a fruit or a vegetable at lunch. And then for dinner, I'll do like a big Chipotle bowl, which will have a lot of veggies in it, which will be really yummy. And then for snacks, I'm doing carrots and hummus and bananas. And then for breakfasts, I realized that I didn't think about it when I placed my online order for groceries to pick up tomorrow, but I do have a lot of egg whites and eggs, and then I have things to make chia seed pudding if I really wanted to. So I'll probably do half the week just 2 boiled eggs, or I'll make egg whites. I haven't quite decided yet. And then I think I have an extra sweet potato in my grocery order because it came in a 3-pound bag, and I don't think I'll be using all of those for my Chipotle bowls, but we'll see. So I might do like eggs, sweet potato, and a cantaloupe that I bought chopped up and eat that up. Or I'll do chia seed pudding, and I have chocolate chips, and I purchased peanut butter, and I have honey, and I have protein powder and protein shakes and frozen fruit. So I should be good to go for either one of those 2 meals. And getting my nighttime routine locked in, I've been really trying to read more before bed and get more into the habit of journaling again. I think that really helps me calm down. And then I take a warm shower and I listen to meditation music in the shower, and it really helps get me like calmed down and ready for bed. And then lastly, with my VO2 max workout, I just found 2 on an online article that seemed to be well researched. And so the 2 recommended workouts were, they both start with a 10-minute warm-up and end with a 10-minute cool down, but the intervals in between are different. So one is more of a flat road speed interval based workout. So it's 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off at an uncomfortable pace for the 3 minutes on, and then walking 3 minutes off. And the breaks are supposed to feel hard. Like if you feel the break was too short, or you're getting bored from how long the break is, then you weren't running fast enough. I think I do that 4 times. So like 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, repeat that 3 more times after the first round. And the second workout is more hill based. And so I put the treadmill at like a 4% incline, and I'll probably increase that over time. But right now 4% is more than enough. But yeah, 4% incline for 2 minutes on, and then put the incline down and walk for 2 minutes. And I do that also 4 times, I think. I've been doing that for 5 weeks, and I have noticed I've gotten a little bit faster when I'm doing these, so I hope that it's improving. Those are kind of my life goals, and I need to figure out a way to track them. I want to learn Notion so that I can make up my own planner and really aesthetically track it in there. Thank you for watching this whole video, and I hope that you found some of it entertaining or helpful. I hope that you're on your own financial journey and you're doing well, and I'll see you next time.